Okay, we're going to take a few minutes and walk you through the ZenCash setup process, starting with the sign up page. So first you can sign up by creating a new account with ZenCash, or you can log in with your Google, Facebook, or Twitter account. So I'm going to create a new account. Now this is the dashboard showing the setup wizard. You'll notice that there's 5 steps here that we're going to walk through quickly, starting with the invoice app connection step. So you'll pick which invoicing app you use. You'll notice we support 5 initially. We will be adding invoicing apps all the time. I enter my credentials, and there's, by the way, there's a help document for each one of these invoicing apps that we connect to. Okay, now it shows me that I'm successfully connected, and I can go on to the next step. Okay, this is the user profile. Please make sure you've got all of the basics here. Your email address is accurate, your phone number is accurate, and then hit save and continue. Now we'll do the company profile. And then down here below company, the mailing address is your company description. Please make sure that you've got your website, your business description, years in business, type, and then anything else you want to share. This could be like the pronunciation of your business name, or if you operate under a DBA or an assumed name, that kind of information would be helpful as well. Anything that you want the call center agent to know in the event you've asked us to place phone calls for you, this is where we'll pull information from. So make sure you put as much information here as possible. And then you can choose a logo. The logos are used for the top of the note cards, and there's information here to the right on size and aspect ratio. The final thing on this page is your bank account information. This is an optional step. The reason this is asked for is if there's an invoice that goes to collections and we collect on it for you, this is how we'll remit funds to you. If you don't have bank account information here, that's fine. We can mail you a check as well. I'll click save and continue. Now this is the collection setting step. There's 3 fields here that you've got to fill out. 1 is turn on collections. 2, you need to set the date that you want collections to start. This is known as the in default date. This really needs to be set by an underlying contract between you and your customer, and we can help you with that or provide some guidance there if you need help. I'm going to go ahead and just set it at 77 days just to give us a starting point. Again, there's also help documents here that explain this and how to set your default date as well. I'm also going to turn on legal action. What that's going to do is if collections process, if that process isn't successful at getting your money, this gives you one additional step at the end of that. Again, there's help documents explaining it as well. Now I'll click save and continue, and we're all done. The final step is just to send yourself a thank you note. This is an optional step, but this way you get a chance to see what ZenCash materials look like, as you'll get a thank you note in the mail from us in a couple days. And I'll hit finish and send. Okay, now the setup wizard is complete and you're on the ZenCash dashboard. Now you have collections already set up, so any claims that are past your in default date will automatically go to collections for processing. If you want to set up any other actions, like actions that would take place during the receivables management window before collections begins, you can do that by setting up an action timeline. So I'm going to click here to set up my action timeline. Okay, you'll notice that the timeline is divided into 3 columns: current, past due, and in default. In default, again, has already been taken care of. You've already set that up during the setup wizard. You can change those options here if you want, but that part's already been done. We're going to drag actions over to these 2 stages, current and past due. This is what we call the receivables management part of the process. So let's say, for example, we wanted to send out a printed invoice in the current stage, and we want to send it out at the beginning of that stage. All we do is drag this action over. I can click apply to all of my current invoices and hit save. Now, by checking this box, it will go to any invoices that are already in the system, and it will go to invoices that come over from your invoicing app after today. Now I could drag a phone call over here to past due, and I could say place a phone call maybe 30 days after the invoice is past due. And I can also see the price for this action, and I can see the call script that's going to be used for this call. You're welcome to modify this if there's something specific you want to ask. For example, if you're a photographer, you could ask, did you receive the images in your Dropbox? I can also apply this to my invoices that are already in the system and hit save. Okay, so I've just added 2 actions to the timeline. I've got collections enabled. One other thing that you will see here is that if collections is enabled, an action gets added for you to your past due stage to happen about a week before collections begins, and that is to send out a final notice. I can click here and I can see an example of the final notice by hitting preview. Okay, so you've now set up an action timeline. These actions will happen on schedule based on the timing that you define. So once you're done setting up your action timeline, the final piece would be to enable the action timeline by clicking on the enable timeline here. Now you'll notice we're not able to turn on the timeline because we don't have billing information set up. So I could click to go fill in my account and billing information, my credit card information, and that would allow me to turn on the action timeline. So that's it. I've successfully set up ZenCash using the setup wizard. I've also set up an action timeline. You'll notice that actions will start getting assigned to your invoices. So all of the setup process is now complete.